Welcome everyone to episode 284 of the Postgame Report. I am your host, JVB, and with me I have Neff.
What's up?
What's up?
Nada, bro.
And we also have Golfrat.
What's good, guys?
Chillin', man, chillin'. Alright, so during E3, they announced that there was going to be, Sony announced that there was going to be an alpha preview for Destiny. Now, the full beta is coming out, I believe July 17th, something like that. So, for most of us, in order to get into this beta, you had to pre-order the game from Amazon, which is what I did. And I got my pre-order. I got my pre-order and my code. It took a little time to get to Destiny, get into the Destiny Alpha. And during the PlayStation 4 press event at E3, some of us went to the different movie theaters in the United States, and we were given Destiny codes to get into this early alpha preview. I believe all of us in here, well, actually all of us in here in this particular episode had a Destiny alpha code, and each of us are going to give our impressions of the game in alpha form. Let's remember that. But nonetheless, from my personal opinion, the alpha was like so damn smooth, and at times I forgot I was playing a freaking alpha. That in a day or two, I was gonna lose whatever I did to my character, all the upgrades, all the money, all the fucking spin metal, all of that was gonna be gone. But I kind of forgot that I was playing a freaking alpha. So let's kick it off with the first thing we see in every video game. As soon as we put it on and we actually get to some gameplay elements, the first thing we see are the visuals. So let's start off with that. Golfrat, you're a big visuals dude. Before we move on, I just want to remind you, Golfrat, that it is going to be 30 frames per second at 1080p for both the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now, to me, I didn't really notice. I didn't really give a damn. I kind of forgot all about that. So did that have any effect in your initial impressions when you were looking around during the Destiny Alpha preview?
Actually, the first thing I said, and it's not that I like to spit venom at Microsoft.
Yeah,
But the first thing I said, and you were there when I said it, was, this looks better than Titanfall.
well, yeah. I mean,
And it's an alpha.
Yes, but we got to remember when it comes to Titanfall was also developed for the 360,
Yeah, that's true.
and it was using an old source engine, which, not a strike against them, but they had to work with what they had. So, but yeah, I
Well,
totally agree with you.
It's a compliment because, Titanfall doesn't look horrible. Titanfall is a pretty good looking game, but in the state that it's in now, as far as an alpha build goes, visually, it's pretty impressive. And I'll say this, I said this on Twitter, I think I saw more PS4 shares on my Twitter feed than any game this year, even more than Infamous. People were sharing the hell out of all the pictures they were doing on this game, and they all look fantastic. It looks really, really good for an alpha. It's going to look even better once it's out in full release, It handles really well. I think that at times, maybe the controls were a little floaty to me. I don't think they were quite as tight as Halo controller scheme or even Call of Duty. They seem to have like a little bit of mixture where it's not quite super tight, twitchy like Call of Duty, and it just felt a little floaty to me at times. But it didn't feel as good as Halo either. But overall, visually, I was impressed with it. The backgrounds, the animation, the character models, the detail, and the indoor environments, which I bitch about a lot, all looked pretty good for an alpha.
Yeah. I have to totally agree. I actually thought it looked initially like Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
And they did a great job of combining a cartoonish look to some realistic looking elements. For example, lighting. When you look at the sunbeams through a dark room, it looks realistic. But then you look at your gun and it kind of looks cartoonish. So it's an interesting blend, and it works.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I was really I was kind of shocked when you went underground and you're going down into those like caverns, those tunnels, and the light effect obviously changes where it just pops up into a flashlight. So it's almost kind of turns into a horror-esque theme, you know, where
Yeah.
it's just the flashlight, and the light effects were freaking really good.
Yeah, I totally agree. Now, what about you, Neff?
I gotta agree. It looked really good for an alpha, and bear that in mind that this is only the alpha, so the looks, the graphic quality is only gonna get better. That being said, I had a lot of fun with it. We're sticking to this visuals now, so I'll stick to visuals. It looked really cool. It reminded me a little bit of Halo as well. You talking about like the lighting schemes and some of the sun shafts and stuff like that. It gave me like a Halo feel, and I mean that in a good way. Not like that it's a Halo clone.
Yeah.
But it's it is Bungie, and so the shades of Halo are there, but like in all the right ways. When we start talking about like the music and all that other stuff, that'll also touch on that. And some of the environments reminded me of that too. Some of the ambiance, a little bit of those moments of solitude. You know what I mean? When you're getting to your destination with the gun in hand. And the gameplay was just badass, which we're gonna delve later. But back to visuals, yeah, it looked great for an alpha. It looked really good. I got a lot of high hopes for this game.
Could use a ghost
Now, I know a lot
analysis
of
on
people
few
are
things
saying
in this
that
area.
it looks
That'll
a
need
lot like
encryption
Halo,
follow.
but I think it had a lot of a Mass Effect theme to it, in my opinion.
Well, musically, it reminded me of both Mass Effect and Halo. Like there's
Yes.
some parts of some of the more like opera-esque, like type moments, ambient moments, whatever you want to call it. That reminded me of Halo very much. And then some of the more actiony scenes, when they started doing like that space techno music, it was straight Mass Effect. And again, in a good way, not so much in a ripoff. Like it's like an amalgam of genres and an amalgam of games, but in a good way, like lightning in a fucking bottle. This game
See,
is back.
I didn't think, like, I know we're trying to stick it with visuals. That's kind
No,
of
we,
hard to
we,
do.
we can move on. We can move on.
But I want
Okay,
to say,
good.
I want to say that the weapons didn't visually look like Halo weapons. They
No,
look more
no, they
like a
didn't.
Mass Effect weapon.
Yes, I agree with that. And going back to the music, let's not forget that Marty O'Donnell, the composer for Halos 1 through 3 and ODST, I believe, and Reach, so 5 Halo games, Marty O'Donnell was the composer for Halo.
No, yeah,
And he
it's an
did-
amalgam, bro.
And he was part of Destiny. Now he got laid off, but you can still see his mark, or we can hear his mark, at least in the alpha.
Jay, how does someone like that get laid off?
That's weird. That's really weird. And I had the privilege of interviewing Marty O'Donnell at the Halo 3 launch event in Seattle that was hosted by Microsoft.
It's gotta be the
and,
stove,
and Fumo Jav and myself, we used to be the host of Podtacular, the Halo Universe podcast. It was funny because during the interview, like most of the time I kicked it off, and I'm like, "You're listening to the Podtacular podcast. I'm Fumo Jive." So that's how nervous I was. I called myself the wrong person. So,
Holy shit!
and then we started cracking up, and Marty even started cracking up. He goes, "You don't even know your damn name." Remember how long it took Soldier to reach us?
Probably an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
This is what happened. We were underground, and we went underground and made our way underneath a mountain. So Soldier was on the other side of the mountain, so he died while we were underground. And when he spawned, he didn't spawn with us. He spawned exactly where he died, but we were already. I don't know why we didn't wait up for him, but we just.
No, we waited. We waited. We were in the same area.
It probably
He was so
glitched him
far
somewhere.
away. He was so
Yeah.
far away. then.
Dude, he was far, and he refused to use his damn speeder bike.
That's funny.
I'm like, dude, use your speeder bike. He's like,
So
yo.
you were doing the open world mission.
Yes, we were doing some missions. So we were even completing some like side quests while we were waiting for him.
Because it was the Crucible, the intro mission,
Yeah, the Devil's Lair.
the Devil's Lair, which was fucking
tough.
badass.
Yes.
Yo, that
Yeah.
shit was crack. I finished it twice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
With Strim Strange, like with a pug group, straight pug group.
Same here. That's how I finished.
That shit was badass, bro. The other one with the what do you call it, with the wizard, I did by myself. That was like the intro mission. And I did some open world. I went to a few caves. I did the cave mission. I did kill X amount of people mission. And the
Yeah, I
Crucible.
collected bounties.
Did you do any multiplayer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Multiplayer was a lot of fun. bro.
Multiplayer.
What's that little foliage that grows?
The spin metal.
Spin metal. I kept finding that shit.
Yeah, I think that's probably
You can trade it
collecting-
in.
Yeah, that's probably because they're gonna have like the MMO aspect. And MMOs, you kind of you collect shit and then you can either sell it or use it to make better shit for yourself.
Well, at least in the alpha, you go to the tower. At least that's what I remember it being called. That was
Yeah, the tower.
Okay, yeah, the central hub where you go in and trade in, upgrade your ships, you get things repaired.
Your guns, you could unlock things that you find that they have to kind of unlock, decrypt for you and
Yes, yes. Now with the spin metal, there's a gentleman that will buy it off you essentially, and then as you'll get money. I believe you get some experience.
shit. Nice.
So you get a few things when you trade in, but it has to be a minimum of 20. Then I started seeing that I can trade in gun parts, but I didn't know who to trade it to. For example, when you dismount, because I started picking up weapons when I killed certain enemies, and of course they were less powerful than the one I had, so I dismounted them. And when you dismount, you're pretty much selling it. You're essentially selling it. But certain
Jay-
guns will give you gun parts as well.
Now, Jay, I have a question, and I can't remember this, but when we did the looting where we would find a treasure chest and loot it, we would get different items, right?
Some of us did, yes.
So I think that was really awesome how you wouldn't get the same item as your buddy got, because it seemed like you were getting all the cool high-powered weapons or something.
He was cheap.
He was getting hooked up, man. He was getting hooked up. I got a level 80 gun.
I got
I'm
some like
fucking rocking a 30.
I got like some like level, I got like some team level shit that I guess I can't use because we use it for capitalization.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was the
Now,
bummer.
will our alpha characters carry over to the game mode?
I don't think so. I believe they said
they
it.
already said no.
Mm-hmm.
The alpha's dead though, right? You can't. not play
Yeah,
it.
it's dead,
Is dead?
and that was heartbreaking.
Damn, I put
was
it in.
pretty
I
hard.
I put in work on that one.
Oh, so did I, dude. I have Watch Dogs that I haven't finished, Transistor that I haven't finished, and it was funny because when the beta the alpha when it ended on Sunday, I was like, what am I gonna play? Even though I have those two games, I still gotta finish.
I just jumped back on.
I was like, what am I gonna play, man? So
I'll tell you this.
there's a
man.
little bit of a withdrawal, which is crazy.
Destiny is like crack.
Destiny.
It is like
It's-
crack because
It's
of
the
those
MMO. That
Yes.
shit is addictive.
that MMO element, the RPG elements, whatever you want to call it, and just the fact that you can upgrade everything, your ship in the cutscenes, your armor, your weapons,
Your
and
your
there's a
bike.
lot of upgrades, a lot
You
of.
go upgrade your ship? I ain't upgrade my
Yeah,
ship.
you can buy a new ship.
Where?
You can buy a
The
new.
tower?
In the tower.
God damn it.
You can buy a new speeder bike. You can buy.
That I know.
You can
That I know
upgrade
the
the
speeder
weapons themselves,
The
your
weapons I know.
armor.
No, you could upgrade your weapons or just trade them, sell them and buy better weapons.
Now, enough.
Yeah.
Being that you're more experienced with MMOs than we are,
Yes. Unfortunately.
in my opinion, I feel that what Bungie has done with Destiny, at least in the alpha, they have brought a mixture of familiar first-person shooter elements with half of what a normal MMO would be. Meaning that it didn't require
it's
us to...
MMO light. MMO
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. If it was a light form of,
We
Well, in
can't.
this alpha state,
multimedia.
it's gonna
Right.
be light, Neff, but you
Exactly.
don't know what the final build's gonna be.
I
It could be
just-
totally nuts.
Before you stepped on my toes, I was.
Ah.
Sorry.
I was just about to say that.
So you think there's more? You think...
Well, we know there's gonna be more. Now, more what is the question? Will it be more just combat content, or will they gonna have more of that, which they will, and deeper MMO elements? Like how grindy is gonna be the grind? Because that's the shit.
That's what I'm
that's
wondering.
basically what you're asking. How grindy? I'm hoping it's not too much because, I already have 2 MMOs that I play, and if I get another one, I may have to kill myself. But they probably won't. It'll probably be like Borderlands. Borderlands, that was was more RPG with a little end game stuff. But it wasn't that bad. You didn't have to put countless hours like you do like with World of Warcraft or Star Wars. So I think they're gonna go on that level. Like you're gonna have to put in some work, but the game is so fun that even once you're capped, you're still just gonna do your thing. You know what I mean? The multiplayer alone, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the shit, and it's just gonna keep people invested in the game. You're probably gonna have to grind to a degree to get to that, to get your top tier stuff. But you'll keep doing it, and then if they stay true to their vision, then it's gonna have more content down the road. So they're gonna create this world. They're gonna have end game content, which is gonna be raids. Hopefully, 16-man stuff, PvP. Hopefully, big teams. And then you'll have to grind so you could be elite on those levels. But I don't think it'll be like traditional MMOs where you have like 3 tiers of gear, and then the highest gear for PvP and PvE, and then the highest gear is like you're pretty much gonna be in God mode. It'll probably be a little dumbed down from that. But then they'll keep dropping future content like expansions, new raids, new PvP maps, and that'll keep shit, flowing forward. Because that's what MMOs do.
Now, I got a
yeah.
question for Neff. MMOs. I'm not familiar with it, so I'm sorry if it's a dumb question.
No such thing.
Are there cutscenes in MMOs?
Depending on the MMO. World of Warcraft, no. They had like maybe 1 or 2 with certain expansions. Like I know they had some Wrath of Lich King stuff down the road. With the one with the dragon with Deathwing, they had a few cutscenes, kind of sorta. Especially if you created the new character that they introduced, the new race, which was the Goblin. But Star Wars has cutscenes. Because Star Wars is an MMO that's very story driven. So you level in this really, because it's BioWare. BioWare is all about telling great stories. So as you level, there's a lot of cutscenes and there's a lot of pivotal moments and turning points and shit like that. So I guess to answer your question, yes and no, depending on the MMO. And I guess the reason you're asking that is that you're hoping that Destiny will have cutscenes.
Yeah, I am. I actually am.
I'm hoping I'm hoping that they have a very powerful story as well. That it's not so MMO-y, that it's just it's so open world, you just conversate with somebody, keep it moving. And this is the world we live in. It's fucked up. There's lore to be found through like backlogs, but that's it. I hope it's not that. I hope it's what you're thinking, and like how Star Wars did it, that as you're progressing, there's gonna be cutscenes, you're gonna have your own story, so you could really be invested in what the fuck you're doing.
Do you guys think that it could be on par with Mass Effect as far as the cutscenes go?
I don't see why not. I mean, if they do it right, hopefully our dreams come true, I don't see why not. BioWare, listen, man, them Halo stories were fucking crack. You know what I mean? Bungie, pardon me. Bungie did a really good job with the Halo mythos. I mean, BioWare, you talk about stories, you talk about Mass Effect. BioWare, they're fucking, they know how to build worlds. I mean, they do, and they have different types of worlds. Bungie just has Halo, but Halo is fucking Halo. I mean, look at JVB's son. He's a fucking, look at JVB. He's a fucking Halo addict, and he's over his addiction now because Halo's not as prominent as it was. Back at his height, this guy couldn't get enough of it.
Jay, do you have a Halo tattoo anywhere on your body?
Nah.
So I mean, it could be as good. To answer your question, it could be as good because BioWare can, based on what they did with Halo, they have the skills to create an awesome, rich, deep, detailed world. Let's see, they're just consistent. Like whereas BioWare, they've proven their consistency. Now they can come up with a new IP, and 9 out of 10, they're gonna fucking have a great story behind it. With Bungie, it's still, it's just Halo, so we'll see. But I'm pretty confident they're gonna pull that shit off.
Yeah, so am I. The one thing with Destiny, I was trying not to be too hyped about it. I was really not reading too many articles. I didn't want to spoil anything, and I didn't really know what to expect when getting into the alpha preview. And as I stated, the gameplay was familiar. You can see a lot of Bungie in this game, and I know that sounds weird, but what I mean by that, when you play Halo, when you play Destiny, you feel that familiarity, the gunplay, the bouncy, the floatiness, which is
the double jump. Yeah, that shit threw me back.
Some of the enemies, some of the way they look, the music when it kicks in and out, how the music tempo changes depending on the circumstances.
Tell me it wasn't really cool when like some of the motherships from the enemies.
Oh yeah, and the whole screen shook.
Yeah, right. The whole screen was shake. They would shoot out of whatever fucking hyperspeed they were
Oh,
in. Slow down, drop off their troops, and break out. I was like, wow.
Yes. And some of the enemies, in typical Bungie fashion, were pretty tough. They were pretty intelligent. They came at you in different directions.
The sub bosses. The outdoor sub boss that tank 4-legged.
Oh yeah,
tank,
dude.
And the last boss was fucking no joke, bro.
I know, that was crazy, bro. That tank. Oh my god.
Another throwback to Halo, if I may. Speaking of those sub bosses, how you were able to utilize your environment in whatever way you could. was awesome. Like the way they set up the environments, you can come at the boss. There's no like, all right,
From
I
different
have to do
directions.
this. Yo, dude, any way to do it. Like with that tanky sub boss. Well, and I did it twice. Well, my teammates were just kind of jumping around, haloing it up, being all over the place. There was like a bridge, like an underpass, and I was like
Yeah.
a troll under there because the missiles wouldn't be able to hit you down there. And I would just pop out, shoot them up, and then when the ads would come out, which is the extras, the thugs, I would run around, kill them.
Yeah, collect some
and
weapons,
go
some
back
ammo.
to my hidey hole and just burn.
That's what I was doing. I had a rocket launcher, I had a sniper rifle,
Oh, it's beautiful.
and from a distance, I was on the far left. They were on the far right, up on some abandoned building, and we were trying to eliminate the enemies from there. And we did a great job. And it took us a long time to eliminate that damn tank.
You know what was a great scene too? When the shields had to be, not the shields, but like it was like shields, but it was like laser lines that they had to be dismantled, and it was like it took like 3 phases, and the enemies kept swarming at you.
Yeah, it was almost like the flood. That's what my son said.
I found a way where it's like because they would spawn from the front, from like that little track area. You kind of backtrack yourself. You could, retrace your steps and go back a few. There's like a cave that's they're not spawning from there. You just came from that area. And you could, if you have like snipers and stuff like that, you could just snipe them dudes down, and that's what I did.
Nice,
Well,
nice.
Jay, we had one boss that actually ran from us. We couldn't kill it, right?
Yeah,
You
that was
had a time limit.
that was one of the
kill-
bounties.
Yeah, and he
was
ran
like,
from us.
Homeboy was out, bro. He was gone. We were like, "Yo, this dude is running."
He was like, yo, they're not paying me enough for this.
And while he was running, other lower enemies, echelon enemies were distracting us or getting in the way. Now, the only thing that was a little disappointing was that if we wanted to do
Let's do
cooperative
some
missions,
Yeah.
we wanted to do cooperative missions, it was only a party of 3. To quote Derek, well, not to quote them, but based on the feedback that Derek and Soldier were providing during our gameplay sessions, they also
Soldier really loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Soldier's probably the biggest fan of all of us.
well,
Soldier, he doesn't like a lot.
he's
of things.
picky. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
so if he likes it, it's good.
And he forced himself to stop playing it because he said if he keeps playing it and he levels everything up, he's gonna lose everything. So he doesn't want to feel that disappointment. But I couldn't stop. So
You know what, Jay? I
retarded.
think this is one of those games that, it like I said earlier, it's gonna be cracked. But it's one of those games where if you have this and other games in your library, you might not touch your other games for a while.
No, you're not gonna.
I was
because you're
saying,
gonna get down with your. You know what? The only game that you might touch is that Battlefield. That new Battlefield is looking a little.
But yeah, let us know, guys, on Twitter at Postgame Report or on iTunes what you thought of the Destiny Alpha. Make sure you visit talkingaboutgames.com and check out all the other awesome podcasts. And if you're viewing us on YouTube, leave a comment below, like us, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you thought about the Destiny Alpha as well. So, for Soldier, TG1 Eddie, Heroic Superman, Derek Gott, those gentlemen who couldn't join us, and Golfrat and Neff, this wraps up episode 284 of the Postgame Report. Until next week, keep on gaming. Don't let the trolls upset you. Just enjoy what we got. Take care.
Got it.